everyone, it's Charles, and today we're going to explore some ways to stretch out your food. That way you can stay at home safe, minimize the times that you're going to the store, exposing yourself. Let's all stay at home, let's all stay safe, and let's organize our kitchen. That way we can have enough food to use for the next few weeks. So let's get straight into it. So let's talk about freezing food. So we've all froze some meat in the freezer, but the question is, how long does it actually last? So I have some chicken thighs right here. I've labeled them in a freezer bag, and I'm gonna put them in the freezer today, and I'm gonna mark on the freezer bag 4 months from now. Honestly, you can put raw meat in the freezer and it'll last a very long time, but the quality of the meat will go down after 4 months. So you wanna put on the freezer bag 4 months from now. That way you can use it by that time, and you'll have some good quality food within the next 4 months, right? So let's talk about cooked food now and freezing cooked food. So in this container, I have some soup that I made recently. It's all leftover food, leftover chicken, leftover rice, leftover veggies. I threw it in some broth, put my own seasoning in it. Now the cool thing is, I know what's in it. It's healthier than canned food because there's less sodium, less preservatives, and this will last a good 3 months. It'll last a long time, but for quality-wise, 3 months. If you put it into containers like this, you can save it for yourself, or you can deliver it to your loved ones, your family members, your neighbors, drop it off at their door, or they can pick it up from you, and they have food for themselves as well. So you can feed yourself and feed others at the same time. Now another idea with some cooked food is some spaghetti sauce. You can easily make a lot of spaghetti sauce at one time and put some in a container for some portions later on. With this, again, it's cooked food, so it can last a long time in the freezer, but rule of thumb for quality, 3 months. Again, you can deliver this to your family members, your friends, your neighbors, or they can come pick it up at your door and we can all still stay safe. Let's label it and keep your freezer organized. You can even freeze your veggies, because I was food prepping the other day and I had some leftover broccoli, some leftover asparagus, and I just threw them in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer because I did not want to waste any food. So just honestly, the freezer is my best friend. So let's talk about produce now, because produce doesn't last as long as frozen food. So let's see how we can stretch our produce to last longer. So yes, we do need our fruits in our lives. So make sure that when you do buy your fruits, to wash them thoroughly so that they are clean and ready to eat. And also make sure that you do not store your bananas with your other fruits and veggies, because the bananas do ripen faster. As you can see, my bananas are turning a little brown. So a good hack with that is either to use them with cooking, either with banana bread or banana muffins, or turn them into smoothies by freezing your bananas in the freezer, and you'll be able to save your fruits and have them last a little bit longer. So I had some green apples that were going soft, so I'm just gonna turn that into a smoothie. That way I'm not wasting any food at all. All right, so let's get into our veggies. So I have some romaine lettuce that was sitting in my fridge for a while. It started to get a little brown, so I wanna make sure that I'm able to use it before it goes bad, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna go ahead and use this lettuce right here for either some salads or whatever cooking I'm gonna do in the near future. With this bottom portion right here, I'm gonna put this in a container with some water, and my romaine lettuce will actually grow. So I can go ahead and have romaine lettuce for the future going forward. And I might not even need to go back to the grocery store to buy lettuce anymore, because I'll be growing my own. So in a few days, the leaves will grow and the roots will sprout, and then I can go ahead and plant this in some soil and grow my own lettuce. That is gonna be exciting. And then I have this to make some salad or whatever I need to do. So I could do the same exact thing with my celery. So I've had celery for a couple of days. It's starting to go a little brown at the bottom, so what I want to do is conserve it. So let's go ahead and do the same exact thing. Let's cut the celery. Let's put this portion where the roots would grow out and put it in some water. Eventually the celery will grow roots, and then it'll also grow upwards, so I'll have my own celery. So I'm excited to grow celery for myself, and then of course going forward I might not need to go to the grocery store to buy my celery. I'll just have it in my backyard. So also with the celery, what you can do is if it's gotten wilted or soft, you can throw it in a container and put them in some water, throw them in the fridge, and overnight they'll actually get back to being crisp and ready to eat. You can do the same thing with carrots as well. You'll be saving your produce. It'll last a lot longer this way. So with growing your own romaine lettuce or celery, you can actually do this with some other produce that you may find at the grocery store, like green onions or whatever has roots. You can put them in some water, let them grow just a little bit, and then replant them in some soil, and you will have some produce that's ready to go ongoing, even beyond this quarantine. You can even grow your own herbs and fruits and vegetables so that you can have an ongoing supply of things that you use in the kitchen, and this will save you from going to the store often. The cool thing about growing your own herbs or your own veggies and produce at home is that you can do all of that indoors. So you don't have to go outside and plant your plants. You can do it all indoors. Just store it right next to a window where they'll get light, and you'll be good to go. So if you can find the time to meal prep, what this will do is help save our essential workers and healthcare workers from having to leave their job to get food or go to the cafeteria to get food, which will potentially expose them to other situations. So let's just keep them safe and fed at the same time. Okay, so now let's talk about your favorite snacks. So when you open your favorite bag of snacks, make sure that you do put them in an airtight container or a Ziploc bag. That way they can be preserved a lot longer. When you open your cereal or your oatmeal, the same exact thing. That way your food will stay fresh, it'll stay crunchy, and you won't have to go to the store as often because your food will not go stale that quick. You can always repurpose your leftovers to turn them into something brand new and still delicious. Like in the past, I've turned regular toast or regular bagels into garlic bread that partnered up with my spaghetti. You can also turn your leftover veggies and your leftover chicken or meat into a soup or a stew. Just make sure that you don't waste any food. Make sure it lasts as long as possible. Your freezer is your best friend. Ziploc bags and airtight containers are your best friend, and your food will last a long time, I promise you. Now remember, friends and family, the whole point of this is for us to stay at home, shelter in place, quarantine. Let's make sure that we can eliminate some unnecessary trips to the grocery store or wherever we need to go. That way we can flatten the curve and help all of this go away. Because I am ready to go out and party, but I can't do that unless we all stay home and do our part, right? So, comment below and let me know how you have been stretching your food or how you've been doing what you need to do while you stay at home. That way we can do our part in making sure that the rest of the world is safe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Charles_L_Magno, and then also subscribe and like all of my videos on YouTube at Charles L. Magno. And everybody, stay safe, stay at home.